Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Q&A with us, the British Fist.
Go, Jake.
And for us, it's that time of year where we've just had our equivalent of our WrestleMania Q&A, and now we're on our little Raw weekly show back as the Q&A, and we're on our way to the next version of WrestleMania, which will be Q&A number 104, the second year Q&A.
That is very true, because when we get to that milestone, it'll be something to look out for, because obviously we've made for another year.
What are you looking at over there?
Oh, we have people over there that speak them.
Oh,
They always talk to you. We've got other people to talk to.
You're talking about the production crew, the British Fist groupies that we've got, the fans that line up there.
And as Santino would say, the effing bear!
What a great way to start the new Q&A year, MJ, but there we go. Subscribe up above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on any of the questions we've answered down in that comment section below.
Where you can contact us in the link in the description box below.
And as you should all know by now, unless you've only just subscribed and press that subscribe button there, this guy with the V-neck shirt, like I always do, is Mr. Parkin 01, and this guy sitting next to me smiling at that little picture of Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier I got there from Thriller in Manila. That's actually my dad's photo. It's none other than MJ.
What's up?
Man, you always come up with something new for that WhatsApp. In 2 years' time, you're still going to be coming up with something new for the WhatsApp, aren't you?
Your WhatsApp's going nowhere.
Oh, it's definitely not going anywhere, but there we go. So keep sending us in your questions down in that comment section below through our YouTube inbox and also through our facebook.com/BritishFist. We want you guys to keep sending us in our questions. So like we said in our Q&A number 52, we can keep going with these Q&As and making them an integral part of our Q&A and interacting with you fans, because that is what we really want to do a bit more.
Oh, yes.
Indeed. Shall we just dive right into this Q&A, AJ?
Oh, yes.
Dive right into this Q&A. The first question is from Mr. Tipper64. The first question to start the new year of Q&As. What is the most bizarre match you've ever seen? This should be a funny question to answer. There's a lot. The pig pen match. That was awful.
Oh, look at me. I'm Santina Morella. I'm Vicky Guerrero. Oh, for flip's sake.
And anything on an bowl match pretty much sucks.
Well, true. As well as Pigpen, you had flipping gravy, you had sponge, you had bubbles, you had all this weird stuff to make it different, but...
At least you had two sexy divas squabbling in that mud, but there we go.
Most of the time.
But the anything on a pole match really sticks out there. The sumo match that Big Show and Akabona had, that was another terrible concept. The brawl for all. Remember that? Trying to bring boxing into WWE, brother. There we go. The brawl for all. Bart Gunn getting knocked out. No. The Punjabi prison match.
Yeah, you got Hell in a Cell, a great structure. Now you got a Punjabi prison match.
They were trying really hard to push Great Khali and shove him down our throats, but even though they created this match, it really just didn't work. It was one of the most bizarre matches ever. Oh, there are so many other more bizarre matches, guys. Whether you meant that in the match stipulation or the actual matches themselves, we don't really know. But goddamn, give us any thoughts you have on the most bizarre matches or match types down in that comment section below. God, that was funny.
Pig no!
Yeah. Little Jimmy, go away. If The Rock is meant to win the WWE title, can you see Brock Lesnar coming back at the Royal Rumble, winning it and setting up Brock versus Brock at WrestleMania 29? I'm personally of the belief that a guy who's full-time on the roster should win the Royal Rumble because it would help them rather than just, help short-term Brock Lesnar in their pay-per-view buys to WrestleMania 29. But
as much as Rock and Brock at WrestleMania would be another big match, the fact that The Rock wants to be the WWE champion, yes, they're probably going to save that for WrestleMania, and The Rock should be facing a younger talent so Rock can do his justice. After beating Cena last year, he should go on and have another match with another wrestler.
Yeah, indeed. No, I think so too. I don't mind the idea of Rock versus Brock. I just don't like it being over the WWE Championship, and I sure as hell don't think Brock should win the Royal Rumble. I think they should save that for a current talent, like maybe like a Wade Barrett or someone like that. I'm just saying. So the idea of Rock versus Brock is a good one, just not with Rock as the WWE Champion and not with Brock as the Royal Rumble winner. As a drawing match, yes, but not as a WWE Championship match, in my opinion.
Very true.
Clarson Joel Lopez asked us another question. As they have done in previous Q&As, what do you think was WWE's worst? What do you think was WWE's worst championship title belt, and why? One of the current ones.
Well, if I was picking anything, yes, it's the W Spinner belt, which is awful.
Oh, it is,
There's the United States, which is not really
The penny
working
belts.
out.
The tag team penny belts. Awful.
There's the Divas belt.
Oh.
They should have kept the woman. So there's quite a few there. They should have kept them as the belts as they were. So all these changes have not really helped the belts at all.
Yeah, if you're thinking about the belts themselves, yes, the tag team championship belts look awful. If that is what you mean, of course, rather than the booking, but there we go. The penny belts are just, oh god, the tag team belts are awful. Super Reggie Dog. Super Reggie Dog, are you a fan of Snoop Dogg by any chance? Just asking, brother. Do you think TNA should have a gimmick pay-per-view like Royal Rumble or King of the Ring? Now, I'm a firm believer that Slammiversary should have the King of the Mountain match, and I think that should be TNA's gimmick. I mean, they've got the Lockdown thing, which is an all-cage pay-per-view. They've got Destination X, which is generally X Division. I think Slammiversary, if they introduce the King of the Mountain, could be that gimmick, but do I think they need it? Probably not, or it would be nice to have a TNA-specific gimmick.
Very true. TNA should maybe have their own gimmick thing so they can say that this is our gimmick, WWE's got this, WWE's got that. But you mentioned one match I think would be good, Royal Rumble, because TNA do have a lot of wrestlers, so they could use them all in one Rumble, but maybe not an every year thing. It could be like copying the WWE, but I think having that sometime would be a good idea.
And they've kind of done something similar to King of the Ring with the whole like Bound for Glory series. Not similar, but a similar concept in the sense you've got like 8 or 16 wrestlers battling it out over who is, you know, the best to get that WWE or TNA championship shot. But they like a Slammiversary with a King of the Mountain would be really good, even though they probably won't do that, depending on the news we've seen before. We watched Over the Limit and also Slammiversary. But there we go. You should have a gimmick pay-per-view, but you know, it'd be interesting to see if they do that. Understand 000 quadruple 1 asked us a couple of questions. I think they asked us 4 questions. Do you feel that a lot of wrestlers nowadays are too small? Do you feel this affects the feel of the main event matches? Because when I look at The Rock and when I look at Punk and Del Rio, there's a big difference. There is some point in that because a lot of the main eventers we know are generally quite bigger wrestlers. And when you see smaller wrestlers go in there, sometimes it does seem a bit unbelievable, especially that guys like sort of CM Punk, for example, that go in there, and it does seem a tad unbelievable. It is a valid point, in my opinion.
Well, as soon as I read this question, one guy came to mind. That was Rey Mysterio. You would not see him go up against someone like Brock Lesnar, Kane, Undertaker, and beating them. So that is one example. But at the same time, it's like you should not judge people on their size, but giving them a chance, like giving Punk a chance, giving Bryan a chance, giving wrestlers that are small a chance for the title is something different and could work out depending on the crowd reaction and their build and push. Yeah,
and it is basically how well you pushed is based on how well you are over with the crowd. And I do think it is another point in the sense that I do like to see variety in the main event scene, so I don't just want to see big guys going against each other. I do want to see small guys in there meshing styles with big guys because they're sometimes the most compelling matches. Like, you say Rey Mysterio, but some of Rey Mysterio's most compelling matches were against the bigger guys and trying to do that whole David and Goliath thing, which a lot of the time worked, in my opinion.
Overdone it, but yes.
Over the limit, overdone it. There we go. Question number 2. What do you think WWE feels about NXT and FCW? How do they decide who goes where?
Well, the first thing is NXT is part of the WWE, so I think they do like NXT, but maybe they're overdoing this year's one. FCW, again, that is eventually going to help the WWE. And how do they decide who goes where? I think it's just a booking, and then Vince McMahon or the writers look at the wrestlers thinking, you got this, you got that, we'll put you here first and you'll go there next.
Yeah. They generally brought people who they were impressed by through FCW in NXT to give them some, like, you know, prime time TV, and then if they're good enough, they'll either win it or, you know, win it and do nothing, or lose it and get on WWE TV. But there we go. And with this recent trend, with this recent bringing through the, you know, FCW and NXT tapings together, it really means there's a lot more equality in the whole NXT and FCW thing. And if you think about it, NXT is full of, like, guys that have developed from FCW, and FCW is the developmental territory, so it's good for FCW, in my opinion, and for NXT, because we've seen, like, you know, NXT guys don't get too much crowd reaction, so to have them in a smaller venue, in my opinion, would be a lot better and more beneficial and more productive.
And combining NXT and FCW together is good, because at the moment on NXT, they're having to get involved WWE wrestlers to still matches in a way, and it's becoming more WWE related than NXT related. So I just say that it's going to help if they put them together like they are.
Yeah, I feel the same way as well. I'm very for that move by WWE, just to house it in a university and have the crowd be a bit smaller and the FCW talent to merge in with the NXT talent. I mean, that's a great idea, personally. Number 3, Out of Raw, SmackDown, TNA, and ROH, which do you feel is better, and which do you look forward to more? I'll let you answer that, and then I'll chime in with my thoughts.
Well, if I'd pick an order quickly, Raw, TNA, SmackDown, ROH, and which one do I look forward to more? I'd say Raw, because obviously with the ideas they're coming in, with the wrestlers coming in, with Triple H being there.
Brock Lesnar and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so that's going my way. But TNA, for people that don't believe me, it is getting better, and it is becoming a show that I'm starting to like more, starting to see more interest in, seeing that they are actually trying to do stuff for the fans to bring them back to where they should be.
Yeah, I mean, to me personally, I think Raw is probably the most interesting show, as they do have some big stuff going on there. For me, TNA is, I feel it's I think it's the most complete show in my opinion in terms of roster, the stars, the layers of the show, and how little filler there is in the show. If you're wondering which I look forward to more, based on the fact that it's live, probably be Raw, but I do like watching TNA on a weekly basis, and I do look forward to what they're going to do, seeing as most of their business model is planned on their TV show, and obviously if they're planning on their TV show a lot, they're gonna try and make the TV show a lot better for people. So I do look forward to TNA, and I do think TNA has a good show for all those people who don't believe out there. Take it from me and NJ, the TNA shows are definitely improving. And when you first started watching TNA, I think you weren't really feeling the product, but then all of a sudden they got rid of Vince Russo, put Bruce Pritchard in charge, and then their TV shows got a lot better, and you started enjoying the product. There was one time when you were thinking you didn't really want to watch TNA anymore, wasn't there?
There was a part when week after week it was the same thing, but with the writer change, the owner, things going differently. I am enjoying it a lot more, so people check it out and then answer this question after you give TNA a chance.
Yeah, and tell us your favourite as well, which you look forward to most. And I will mention this as well. I review FCW on my channel. I do look forward to FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling, which is WWE's developmental scene. I must admit, I really do enjoy watching FCW, so I do recommend you guys check that out too. You'll see guys like Seth Rollins, Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno, Claudio Castagnoli with Antonio Cesaro on the SmackDown. It is a good show, trust me, guys. And question number 4. Are you going to ever do live reaction videos? And I mean literally live, so we can see your reactions as the ref counts to 3. I know you did some before, but they were more of a quick review, although I wouldn't mind those again. With live reactions video, it kind of just depends on what mood you're in and whether the pay-per-view is enjoyable to actually give reactions. We're not really in a position where we can give reactions on everything because we do want to sit down, watch and analyse the show and talk about it personally as well. But live reaction videos,
I think someone likes a live reaction video, Stan.
Well, the Money in the Bank one was one of our best live reaction videos we ever did. I remember doing that. It was so fun. It just depends on the show, really, isn't it? Money in the Bank was a very fun show that led to us reacting to stuff and doing it in a funny and slightly comedic way.
And that's the thing with live reactions, again, with some of the wrestling shows, it does deserve a reaction because the effort they put into the storyline, building up to it, and the match itself, payoff and all that, it does worth it. But at the moment, as you've seen in the past pay-per-views, it hasn't really done its job in the right way, but live reactions could be coming back.
Yeah, and I think you must also need to incorporate the fact that live reactions is a lot of effort in filming everything after everything happens and filming the right things and filming the correct things and then editing it together afterwards. So the live reactions is a lot of work, especially compared to our reviews, which are generally just one long video condensed, into a couple of thoughts. So just keep that in mind with the live reactions. Ryan Bull asked us a question. Do you think WWE will go TV-14 again someday? It will have to eventually someday because the business changes. It's now PG. It was TV-14 in the Attitude Era. There will be a time where it'll probably go back to being TV-14 because that is the nature of the business at the time.
Well, when I look at it, maybe it won't be labelled TV-14 because the kids are always going to be a big part of the wrestling business. That's not going to change. But I think they'll eventually try and adapt it. But TV-14... maybe it won't be labelled that when they get to that stage, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's a very simple answer, really, Ryan. Howard the Man asked us a question. He asked us one at the beginning. He asked us another one there. We should really have put these together, but there we go. We answered them in chronological order. Do you think... no, sorry, that's the previous question. Do you feel big, muscly guys should be heels or faces? I think we had a quick discussion about this before the Q&A. We feel they should start out as heels, but then once they get a bit better and a bit popular with the fans, they should then go as faces. Like look at Batista, John Cena, guys like Brodus Clay, etc. So it works in that way. They should generally be heels, but the ones that get over a bit more and have more personality should be faces.
Well, I personally see big muscly guys as heels just because they've got the look about them, the dominance about them, and that works better as a heel. But obviously, we've seen the WWE taking the chances of turning heels faces. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But overall, I'm more of a heel guy.
Yeah, no, I do see what you're saying, but the fact that Vince McMahon loves to push big, muscly baby faces like, Batista, John Cena, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage, people like that, and you could even argue The Rock and Austin maybe in that list, is the fact that WWE do like to push muscly guys as baby faces and make them the top guy, means that they should start off as heels, but when they develop a personality, they should be faces. That's what WWE and Vince McMahon love to have at the top in the main event scene.
Thank you.
And generally, they're more big draws, as Vince McMahon would like to make you believe, rather than the small guys like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, who aren't draws. But there we go. Ultimate Footy Fan 19, all in caps locks, by the way. How would you build up Ted DiBiase based on his current situation? Well, first, he would have to return from his injury, wouldn't he?
Sadly, yes. But the thing about Ted DiBiase, I think the best way, because obviously he's starting to get a push, but it quickly went. I think the best way to lift him back would either be put him into a tag team temporarily, just to get his name back out there, or for a special show, let's say a special SmackDown or Raw comes up, have his father there, and then have his father bring him back up, slap him into place, something like that.
You could use his father. You could use Ted DiBiase Senior, the $1 million man, to try and put him over a little bit. Maybe even have him as his manager. Could be a good idea, in my opinion. I think if you want to bring back Ted DiBiase, you build him up on a couple of shows with squash matches, and then you put him. In my opinion, he's probably the next best guy you can pick as a babyface anyway to maybe go after the IC belt. Having a feud with Cody Rhodes based on that history. They didn't really do it properly before. I'd like to see WWE cultivating maybe a feud between DiBiase and Rhodes properly, even though Rhodes at the moment is way, way above DiBiase.
I'd wait till Rhodes loses it because they threw that feud out the window. All I can say is the main thing, in my opinion, you could say squash matches and build him up. I say his father is the best bet at this moment in time.
Yep, and the tag team idea wouldn't be bad either. WWE do need tag teams. Putting in with someone in a tag team could be a pretty decent idea. Someone like Tyson Kidd or hell, even a guy like Justin Gabriel. Who really knows? It would be a nice way to bring him back in. Do you want to do these next questions, AJ? John Leslie Reed gave us a couple of questions. What's your opinion on the Lord Tensai gimmick? Shit.
I will say is that Tensai should not have came back. Yes, he's over in Japan, but Albert, if they were going to bring him back, should came back as the guy we know him as. Yeah, I'm not really too interested in the Lord Tensai gimmick, but it looks like he might be getting some kind of push based on the way they've been booking him. So we're just going to get a lot more of him, basically, based on how he's being booked at the moment. What is your opinion on the Ryback gimmick? It could be, it's starting off okay. It's not necessarily too interesting right now, but once he gets on a streak and gets a proper push and gets over, it could be an interesting gimmick. We know that Vince McMahon might want to push this guy into the main event in a couple of years. Well, he came into the WWE as a heel. He's now a base, and they're going to keep building him that way. So in a way, I would maybe have came back to the dominant heel boss, but he's working as a base. I'm thinking if they book him correctly, his character will get a lot better. Yeah, that's all I can really say as well. The Ryback gimmick could be a good one in a year's time if WWE book it right and then put him on some kind of streak. What's your opinion of Matt Morgan? I don't know. Matt Morgan does get a lot of hate because he's more of a bigger wrestler. He's not, you know what I mean? But for a big wrestler, he's pretty good, I think. I like Matt Morgan. But this book in the WWE, it wasn't the best. He didn't really do anything apart from team with Lesnar. But I say that in TNA's a guy that I'd like to see more happen to him if he comes back to the WWE. Just makes his booking better. I think people could like him. You could make him as a monster heel based on his size. It's a lot more difficult to maybe get this guy over as a babyface like TNA are doing. But at the moment, at the time we record this video, his dates are currently up on his contract, so he can't really appear on the TNA show. Maybe signing with WWE, maybe not. But I do think he has something to offer either TNA or WWE, in my opinion. Even though they haven't, especially TNA and WWE, haven't really booked him in the way they should and made him this real force. Or he can stick to adverts, commercials, yeah. I want a low-down payment. You can do that. Crimson should be doing those adverts. Do you think WWE should bring back a Cruiserweight division to rival the X division? Do you really think Vince McMahon would want to rival TNA in something? Does he need to? That's the best way to put it. But if I had to add a little bit more, they put in the cruiserweights now, possibly into the Intercontinental US title or just jobbers. So I think the way they're doing now is they've made the cruiserweight a bit more important by giving them better pushes. Yeah, the X Division has been a forefront of the TNA for a while, even though its lack of booking has led to people believing it's not. But the cruiserweight division was always looked down on by Vince McMahon. He never really liked cruiserweight wrestling. He only really had it in there because of the sheer amount of WCW talent that came about when the Time Warner AOL merge came about in WWE.
sign them. But I don't think there's any real possibility of a cruiserweight division in WWE as opposed to say TNA, where it is a lot. It is good counterculture, and I do enjoy the X division.
That's a good way of putting it. Yes.
Yeah, and the last question that we're getting from I can't remember who the question owner was. I've forgotten already, but there we go. As much as you guys have stated you hate Robbie E and Zack Ryder, if you had to choose which one is better, who would it be? Huh? Oh, Zack Ryder. Yeah, I'd say Zack Ryder as well. You could include Eric Young on that list and would still say Zack Ryder, but there we go.
Ryder's improved, so I'll say Ryder, but he's just still not a favourite of mine, hence the pay-per-view pre-show.
Yes, and Zack Ryder is a gimmick which is, it is a lot better and a lot more tolerable than the Robbie E gimmick and the Eric Young gimmick as well. So there we go. That has been another Q&A from us, the British Fest. You've had another long Q&A from us this week. So we hope you enjoyed this Q&A. Get your thoughts and opinions on any of the questions we've answered or any of our answers that we've given you down in that comment section below. And please continue to keep sending us questions so we can keep doing these Q&As. Now, NJ, it's time for another one of your epic intros.
Outros. Thank you very much. Now, people,
outros.
we could make this a 40-minute Q&A if we wanted to, but we're not going to. Let us know if you like the idea. And anyway, people, all I can say is for Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, this has been a Q, questions, A, answers. Until next time, people, goodbye.